Hello and welcome back to somebody on the recipe and to another edition of Smackdown Out of 10, the go-home Smackdown before Backlash. John Cena returned to the blue brand to hype his match against Randy Orton, and the Women's Championship was also a prime focus with Nia Jax and Jade Cargill fighting out to see who would battle Tiffany Stratton next up. But the show opened with Byron Saxton stopping Damian Priest backstage to get a quick word before he and LA Knight headed to the ring for their tag match against Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Sikoa attacked Priest as the bell rang, so he became a legal man by default. It didn't take the Archer Company long to take control and hit old school. Knight and Priest got into an argument as the show cut to break to hammer home this odd couple pairing that doesn't get along. They did a good job playing out the tension as the match progressed. Knight and Priest got on a bit of a roll, but the former world champ tagged himself in instead of letting Knight finish off Fatu. A moment later, Knight did the same thing. Sikoa tried to get the advantage, but Knight was able to dodge the Smoke Strike and the BFT for the win. Priest and Knight had a fight once it ended, but Fatu ended up taking both men down. A pretty decent match, ending with McIntyre hitting the Fatu with the Claymore to stand tall. Yeah, good stuff. It makes Sikoa look a bit of a jobber. I don't know what's happened to him recently, but yeah, on the whole, I thought it was a decent build for the match, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10. We then got Piper Niven and Chelsea Green versus Zelina Vega and a returning Alexa Bliss. Great to see her back, and a nice pop when she made her entrance. Vega started against Nick and fell victim to the powerhouse at first, but soon as Green tagged in, the champ could control. It took her until a break for Vega to finally tag in Bliss, and once she came in, she was on fire, hitting Sister Abigail on Green to get the pin after a short rampage. The majority of what we saw was good, but there was enough awkward and mistime moments where it could have been better. But I think it's the main thing was getting Bliss back on TV, and yeah, it was great to see her back. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Charlotte Flair then came to the ring as we returned from a break to give a promo. She said she was going to get back the women's title before the crowd disrespecting her. She was about to storm off when Jade Cargill made her entrance and grabbed the mic and told the Queen to get to the back of the line. After a break, Jax made her way to the ring. This was two of WWE's strongest women competing in a singles match. There was some big pressure on them here. Stratton arrived to watch the ringside as they fought for a future title shot. Cargill put Jax in the corner, but the former world champ ran over her a moment later. This was never going to be a technical showcase or a high-flying contest. This was two powerhouses going at it, so they played to their strengths and both literally and physically. They battled for a break, and we returned to see Cargill hit a big Samoan drop. She had a few more impressive displays, like a suplex and a press slam in the corner, but none of it was enough to finish off Jax. Naomi showed up at ringside and attacked Stratton, which distracted Jade enough to Jax to take control and hit her finisher for the win. While this match had a couple of good matches that showcased Cargill's power, it wasn't enough to make it memorable. It's slower in places and it should have been, and the second half definitely picked up. But I just felt like with the potential and the quality both these women have, it maybe could have been a bit better, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins then came to the ring bandaged up after the TLC match a few weeks back. They spoke a bit before Fraxian came out to ask for a title shot. Aldis came out and booked a non-title match with Fraxian to see if they could hang with their chance, and we returned to see the match already in progress. Ford and Dawkins were both selling their injuries in a TLC match, so Fraxian were able to take advantage of being the fresher of the two. With Ford and Dawkins being able to do so much to sell their injuries, the match wasn't as fast-paced as it usually be. That being said, they put on some great spots, and yeah, it was great for especially Fraxian. The good thing about Profits working slower than usual was it allowed them to room for growth in the future between these two teams. But yeah, it was still an incredible match, a fantastic back and forth. Fraxian scored the win and possibly earned a title match in the process, and yeah, what a huge win for Fraxian that is as well. That's really going to get them over, and I thought this was just a great match from start to finish, and obviously, like I said, there's probably even more to come, and I can't wait to see what they can do. But Fraxian have made an incredible impact on the main roster so far. I really love this. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. We then got Carmelo Hayes taking on Aleister Black, who had The Miz supporting Hayes. Black defeated The Miz in his return match, so Hayes was hoping to learn from his partner's mistake. They locked up and had a great exchange of counters and takedowns to get the action going. Hayes unloaded with some strikes in the corner, but Black nose-held it and fired back to send him out the ring for a moonsault. The match got more competitive as we went on and saw Hayes getting more offense, but Black still maintained control. They quickly developed a lot of chemistry and put on a fun match that accidentally allowed both of them to shine, but The Miz cost Hayes the match. He tried to distract Black, but Hayes crashed into him, and Black rolled him up for the win. He immediately took Miz out with a Black mask before sitting in the aisle. This gets 7 out of 10 for me. I thought, another good showcase for Black. I think it did Hayes some good as well, and obviously you'd expect him to maybe beat Miz at some point soon, which would be a good thing. So yeah, 7 out of 10. The next bout was a tag match between Andrade and Phoenix taking on Berto and Angel. Phoenix and Angel started things off with a fast-paced exchange, but it didn't take long for Berto to tag in. Escobar accidentally distracted the ref when Berto had Phoenix pinned. Adilo was able to hit his finisher to get the win for his team. As expected, a fast-paced and entertaining match. All four of these guys have tremendous athletes, so they would have to try to have a bad match. Escobar ripped into Berto for losing, and things got tense as Berto seemed off and Angel looked confused. So yeah, another potential breakout storyline. Maybe 2 in a row wasn't great, but I thought the match was still good, and I'm juicy. Okay, 7 out of 10. Moving on, and Cena came out for the final segment and got a lot more cheers than expected, but the crowd still sang Cena sucks along with his music. Someone threw a beer bottle in the ring, and Cena just shook his head and threw it away with a look of disgust. Which, yeah, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it was quite a clever little spot. Cena spent the last 10 minutes of the show trashing Orton. He even insulted Orton's dad and grandpa and brought up a failed drug test from Orton's past. A solid promo from Cena that included a couple of lines that are going to be popular on social media. Someone ahead, he tried to attack him with an RKO and Cena took him down, but as all the ruse as the real Orton showed up and hits the RKO a moment later. A good way to finish, and yeah, I'm still very excited for this match coming up. And SmackDown was a bit of a mixed bag, but I think the good far outweighed the bad on this show, on this week's show, especially when it came to in-ring action. Love the tag match between Fraxium and Street Profits, and there's some other really decent stuff on the card as well. So yeah, on the whole, like I say, I really enjoyed this week's episode of SmackDown. I thought there's a lot of good stuff in there, and I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 from me. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.